Just checking the roving mic. Everybody's hearing that okay? Yeah? Everybody happy with that? Blah, blah, blah. Talking rubbish.
morning. Good morning.
Okay, good morning everyone and welcome to Wembley Stadium for this squad announcement for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Before we get underway, Thomas will begin with a few opening remarks and then we'll throw it open to 2 questions per person.
Yeah, good morning everyone. Thanks for coming, and of course you saw our squad selection for the World Cup, which is an exciting day for me and I think for everyone selected. I think from day one we were very clear that we are trying to select and build the best possible team, which is not necessarily to select and collect the 26 most talented players. Teams win championships, it's as simple as that. And what we are trying to achieve in summer can only be achieved as a team. That in mind, we chose a very balanced squad. We chose 3 goalkeepers plus Jason Steele. I want to take the opportunity and thank Jason for being brilliant, and thank Brighton for being so cooperative and supportive. We choose 9 defenders for 4 positions. We chose 7 midfielders for 3 positions, and we chose 7 strikers for 3 positions. I can assure every fan in the country that we have 26 100% committed players in camp with us, who know their role, who are ready to buy into their role on and off the pitch, and who are ready and committed to the idea of team spirit and being unselfish. The squad, I think, has a significant number of players that will compete for starting minutes and starting places. That gives us also the chance to rotate on a very high level. And a significant number of players who carry the sportive responsibility on highest level. We have a huge chunk of youthfulness in the squad. We have 6 players who won titles with the under-21s. We have Kobe, who is still young and has already won his titles. We have Nico O'Reilly on top, who is very young and has already won his medals. We have specialists with us, specialists for all kinds of different scenarios. When we're leading, when we're chasing a game, when we're chasing a result. We always said we want to be a strong set-piece team, so we have specialists for that, and we want to be a strong penalty team. We have specialists for that. And last, and for sure not least, we have a decent leadership group in camp. We have a decent leadership group with us in the World Cup. The leadership group took care and ownership in a very special way from September onwards. They created a culture, they set the tone, they set the standards, created and took care of the standards, and we were very happy with that. And that is why the majority of this team and that this majority of the selection is from the players who were with us in September, October and November. It's important for me to say that I am very grateful to all players who helped us qualify, to all players who had sometimes only 1 of 6 camps with us. Very grateful. And I tried to show my respect and my appreciation for what they have done in telling them in personal phone calls in the last 3 days about my decision. So I called every player that was at least once with us personally to tell them my decision, even if it was a painful decision or it was a disappointing message. We believe that it has to be delivered from me. I will not go into details, of course, but I tried to explain and explain my decision and try to express my appreciation and respect for the player. Okay. No more questions? Good.
Hundreds, I'm afraid.
Hundreds.
Yeah. Thomas, nice to see you, and thanks for explaining that. That's very helpful. You've surprised us again. I want to start with perhaps what we thought was the biggest surprise, and that's Ivan Toney's inclusion. He's played a total of 7 minutes of international football in your 16 months in charge. He wasn't on a lot of people's radar, and yet here he is in your World Cup squad.
Yeah.
Can you explain that to us?
Also a bit of a surprise to us. So, but like I said, when it came down to all different kinds of scenarios, he was back in the picture. I had fantastic feedback from his coach, from his club coach, who was my player, and I have a close connection with him. I had always fantastic feedback about his role there, about his ability, about his fitness. We could see that he still collects the numbers. I think he has very special skills that could help us, meaning the situation, the scenario when we are chasing a result, when we're chasing a goal. I think he can be a very valuable addition to Harry Kane. He can be a presence in the box when we're pushing for a goal. He can take attention of other strikers. He has a natural presence within the box. He's a natural finisher. He can help us with set pieces because he's very strong in the air, very good in using his body, and not to forget, he's a world-class penalty taker. So he ticks some boxes that we wanted to be ticked.
You've made it clear again in your opening statement that reputation, big names are not necessarily what matters to you, it's how they fit in the collective. And you've said that consistently, I think, in all your time in charge, to be fair. But there are some world-class talents that are not in this squad that other nations will look at and say, how are Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, Harry Maguire, Trent Alexander-Arnold, etc., Morgan Gibbs-White, how are they not in this squad? How have you left them out? Do you fear leaving their talents out?
Say again the question.
Do you fear leaving those talents at home at all?
How I felt or how I feel?
Fear?
A fear?
Yeah, do you fear leaving those talents at home?
No, I don't fear, because I'm very confident in the group that we chose and with whom we arrived, with which we arrive. Very difficult decisions, painful conversations, difficult for the players, difficult to explain to the players. But as I said, what we're trying to achieve, we try to achieve as a team, and we try to nominate a balanced squad. If everyone is selected, it was a given that from these 55 players, we have to leave some extraordinary talents, some extraordinary personalities at home. Either way, if we would have picked all these names, some other big 5 names would have been out, and we would talk about these names. So that comes with a job. I like these kind of decisions, even if they took us weeks and sometimes months to clarify the decisions. I think they bring clarity. I think they bring, in the end, a certain edge that is necessary. I tried to explain the reasons for the players. Could they be in camp? Did they do anything wrong? No. Could they be in camp? Yes, 100% sure. But for some of them, it's just the amount of players on a certain position. We didn't want to play the players out of position so much, and we don't want to give them a clear role. And it comes with difficult and maybe hard choices in the build-up to the tournament.
Hi, Thomas. You said a lot of painful decisions to make for players and difficult phone calls.
Yeah.
One player who's released a statement saying he was disappointed was Harry Maguire. Do you understand him releasing a statement, or were you a bit surprised to see that after you spoke to him?
I was a bit surprised, but I respect his personality a lot. I respect his quality a lot. He had an outstanding season. I can see the disappointment. I can see the reason behind the disappointment. Still, I was a bit surprised because we had a private conversation, and he had the chance to express his feelings, which he did, and this is fair enough, because I can see all the reasons why he could be in the squad. But the decision is that we stood firmly with our central defenders that carried us through September, October, November. Some of them are part of a leadership group that took ownership and set the standards high, and we just it was a decision for these 23, for these 26 players, even if it feels that it's against individuals.
Sammy.
Hi, Thomas. Can you confirm, please, the makeup of the leadership group and how you came to make those decisions with regard to the identity of those players? Just a quick.
How I decided who's in the leadership group?
Yeah. or why you decided those
Well, we had
players
a
were in?
March camp and we had a June camp, and that it was pretty clear for us who should be in there. I see no value in sharing it with you, to be honest. So I will keep it to myself. It's a group of 5-6 players, and this is always like it's always a fluidity possible in the group. But they took ownership, they took care, and they were massively influential. And I was very, very happy with the way they acted and interacted and how they stepped up. So there is no need to change that.
Just a quick one. Will you be inviting any extra players for the Florida camp to make up for the Arsenal players and Dean Henderson missing out because of their commitments at club level?
Yeah, I think Dino is not an issue because we have Jason Steele in camp, so we can start with 3 goalkeepers and later we have 4. But yeah, we will take some young players out who will train with us and keep the squad in the size that we need. That we have all the possibilities also for the 2 friendly matches to take care about the minutes and the load of the players. So this will be Alex Scott is confirmed, Rio Ngumoa is confirmed, and Josh King, and there will be 1 more player which we cannot name because it's not confirmed yet. But I'm happy that these guys are with us, especially Alex, who was even on the list of 55 and had a kind of a disappointing phone call as well that he didn't make the first cut. But the reaction of him was outstanding, the commitment, the wish to be in pre-camp and to just be a step closer to the team was just was not even a question for him, and this showed me his character and his spirit. So I'm delighted that he's with us because it was a close call and gets a chance to take a step closer and to get a cap.
Kerry.
Thomas, a big day for you. I know how much you love your players, so I know it's been a really tough 48 hours, but you were brought in here to make tough decisions. You're a winner, 60 years of hurt now. What makes you believe you can win this World Cup?
I heard recently a quote from Rafa Nadal, who said, "I'm not a winner, I'm a competitor, I'm a challenger," and that is basically how I arrive in the US for this tournament. I'm hungry. I arrive with hunger. I arrive with excitement, and I arrive as a competitor and as a challenger. And I think that is the role for us as a team. That is how I want the team to play. This is how I want the team to develop, and this is why we picked that squad, and that's why I'm so sure that we picked the right squad. It is about building a brotherhood. It is about building excitement and a certain energy, and then I feel that we can transmit this to our fans who are either in the stadium or back here in England pushing, and once we get this energy right, everything is possible. So we said it very early. We will try to go all the way. We will try to win this tournament, but it's very, very quickly. It just makes no sense to try and digest the whole cake at once. We will chunk it up. We will try to have the best possible pre-camp, have a little break in between, and then go to Kansas, switch locations, and go into the tunnel to start the group phase.
Where there is no doubt in quality is Morgan Rogers and Jude Bellingham. Some people will see that as a problem in terms of selection. How do you prepare to handle a very nice problem? I think
they're just 2 of the names who are potential starters on the same position. I think there is still variety within these positions, so they can also play together. That should not be a problem. If they compete for one position through the tournament, I think it is possible to compete for a position as complices, and you don't have to be enemies. In the example of Morgan Rogers and Jude Bellingham, they're friends anyway. So we have a couple of others. We have Bukayo Saka and Noni who fight for the same place in the club, and I strongly believe that it is possible that you fight for your place and still push your friend, your colleague, especially in international football, to the best possible performance, and that will come back to you. And we took a lot of care about that exactly this energy is right. They know their roles. I have no doubt that we chose the right players. I have no doubt that Jude and Morgan will get along well, and I have no doubt that they will be both decisive for us.
David.
Hi, Thomas. You've picked John Stones, who hasn't played a lot of football for Manchester City this season, very experienced, but is he ready to play a meaningful part on the pitch for your team?
Yes, otherwise I would not have picked him. He's excited to come, and I am excited to have him. I am a huge believer in John. I think he's a world-class player. He's an amazing character and a proven winner. He knows how to adapt to a winning culture. He knows how to adapt tactically on the field. He is still on highest level when I see him play, when I see him move. We analyzed a lot of his training data because I get your question. There's not a lot of proof in the last half of the season, unfortunately. The good news is he was available, so he was not out. He was available. The bad news was he wasn't selected as much as we all hoped for. But I think we can take advantage of our late start to the tournament in this case. We have still, I think, over 4 weeks until our first match. We will give him now. We will reconnect with our principals. We have the chance to let him play 2 friendly matches. And then I hope and I truly believe that he will have a strong tournament for us.
Another player you have picked, Noni Madueke.
Yeah.
Why have you picked him over, say, someone like Jarrod Bowen or even maybe Cole Palmer, who could play on the right as well?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Jarrod. Jarrod was just one of the players under the radar maybe, but he was just excellent in every camp. Excellent in every camp for us, and then gets the phone call that he's not on the plane. Does Jarrod suffer a bit from the situation at his club? It's difficult for him, and does Noni and Bukayo profit from the situation at their club? They play in finals. They back the Premier League title. They play in a Champions League final. So it's a question of concurrence. Without telling too much, the reaction of Jarrod was just outstanding. It just proved again what kind of character he is, how much he buys into the team spirit, even if it was a difficult one and a disappointing message for him. It was a very difficult choice to make. Noni was excellent for us in the matches that he played. I believe that he can be a difference maker. I even believe that he didn't play so regularly, but he's used to coming on, coming off, can be a big advantage. And I believe in his ability to change matches and his ability to disrupt defensive organizations with his one-on-ones. So that was the choice.
Ethan and Henry.
Hi, Thomas, UK. I just wanted to focus on one specific player that might have raised a few eyebrows. The left-back position, Jed Spence. You know, he's currently playing at Spurs. They're fighting for relegation at the moment.
Yep.
A lot of people are seeing that he's got no goals this season, no assists. I guess what was the specific tactical reason of choosing him?
First of all, he was excellent in every single match that he played for us. He suffers from the third change of coach at his club. Since then, he doesn't get a lot of minutes. Of course, he suffers from the situation. He is part of the situation as well. He's a part of the situation at Tottenham. He brings something to the group that we don't have in his profile. I think he loves defending. He's the fastest player in our squad, and he loves to defend one-on-ones. And that is just a characteristic that I would say makes him a standout fullback for us and a bit of a special fullback for us. He can, on top of that, play both sides. We had this discussion, to be very open to you, before the March camp with Chet. We said we're a bit concerned what is going on in Tottenham. You don't get the minutes. You don't have the impact that we want to see from you. If you come here in March, you have to prove yourself again, which he honestly did, because both of our fullbacks, Tino and Chet, were just excellent against Uruguay. And that was basically then was the decision that I can really trust him, and he brings something to our group which makes him unique.
Thomas, hi. First, good luck at the World Cup.
Thanks.
Secondly, you say that teams win championships and that it's not about the most talented players, but the history of the World Cup, it's Messi, it's Mbappe, it's Ronaldo, Romario, Zidane.
Good.
I mean, these are individuals who've won World Cups. How do you balance that?
I think we have these names And hopefully we have one name in the end of it that says like he carried the team or he had the decisive moments. I think we have world-class players within our ranks. We have big names, but everyone, like I said, is committed to buy into the idea as a team, is ready to be selfless. And we have proof of that, and that's why I feel very confident. And yeah, I agree with you. It seems like the big names are around, but if I look at our squad, I see some big names who can have all the headlines if we go all the way.
Hi, Thomas. Hi. You mentioned squad rotation earlier, and I just wondered how important is it to you that as many players as possible get minutes particularly in the group stages? Is that something that's a priority?
I'm not so. Yeah, ideally yes, but once we're in group stage, I will maybe adapt and change my mind or adapt to the way of rotating. I mean, the challenge is clear. It will be hot. It will be humid. We can have a game in huge altitude, so it's one match more than usual because of the amount of teams. So yeah, would it make sense to rotate? Yes. And does it show also a level of trust to the players that we trust them? Yes. But then, I think we have a significant amount of players who hope to start, and it's more than just 11. So we will be able to rotate on a high level and give minutes and spread the minutes. Hopefully we can do this without losing momentum, without losing connections between the players, because we haven't played in certain formations since November. Because in March camp some key players were injured. So it has to be a mix, I think, of everything. History shows that it makes sense to rotate in the beginning of the tournament, but I also don't want to lose the chance to build automatism and to build connections on the pitch.
Hi, Thomas. You spoke about the spirit the squad need to have to win the World Cup. I was wondering how much of the spirit is already there, in your opinion, and how much you'll have to build it during the camp.
When I see the 26 reactions in the last 3 days to my phone call, then I think the spirit is there. It was amazing to see. I wish everyone could have seen what it means to the players, the joy, the emotion, to get this phone call, even of players where you could think, oh, well, he should be sure that he's on the plane. What it means to them, it would be nice to share it, actually. That just shows me that we chose the right group. We have to be sure, because we want to be a long, long time together, and we will be together 24/7. So no one can drive home and have an afternoon off at home and relax and come back the next day. We will stay together. Of course, that's why this is very important. And that's why we rely so heavily on the group that built this kind of spirit throughout these 3 camps in September until November. And I think we have a big part of it, and we will make sure in the first 10 days, especially in pre-camp, that the players engage, reconnect. They will have the freedom and the opportunity to reconnect off the pitch to make it a special summer for us.
You say the goal is clear, to win the World Cup. What do you think needs to happen for England to actually win the World Cup?
Well, the goal is to try to win it and not be shy about it, and then just to respect the game and the opponents and the amount and the obstacles that come with the tournament itself. What was the question in the end?
What do you think needs to happen for England?
Well, we need a bit of luck. We need to have our selection right, and then we need to stay healthy. All the players need to stay healthy. Then catch a momentum and build a brotherhood, like I say, play with courage, play with hunger, and take advantage of special moments, hopefully. Then we need a bit of luck, and we need crucial moments on our side, of course. Once we go, hopefully, then to knockout football, it's a game of margins. And it will not be done without luck, and it will not be done without nerves of steel if you need to overcome overtime or penalty shootout. So it's not everything is in our hands, but I think it's good to just have the goal spoken out, and we did this very early in the first camp. And after that, we straight away, 1 minute later, we said, okay, this is clear. That's why we're here. That's what we're trying to do. But let's focus on what we can influence, which is now in the next step, the 10 days in Florida.
James.
Hi, Thomas. Team chemistry and having good travellers in the group seems to be such a core idea for you. I just wondered if you'd spoken to anyone specifically about that, whether it, like other international coaches or Gareth Southgate maybe?
No. We trusted our own experience. We trusted our own sports psychologist that we have with us. We trusted our observations throughout the camps and didn't speak with other coaches about it.
And you got,
but we have feedback, of course, from club coaches, and when we go into stadiums, and a big amount of observation goes into behavior, not even like into football details, but goes into behavior. How is someone warming up? How does he behave to a decision against him? How is he connect? How does he react to what happens on the pitch if he's not selected? And from there we go.
Arsenal obviously in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
Villa have won the Europa League. Palace are in the Conference League final next week. Do you take the positives from that English players are winning things, getting to big finals?
Yeah.
Or does that increase concern about fatigue? Because a lot of people talk about the conditions and the fatigue of the group, which has been a problem for England.
It just shows me that this league is the strongest league in the world, the most competitive league. That's just another proof for me. And it just shows on the negative effect of it that our players will be tired after a long season. That's just how it is. It does not make it easier to go then to 3 countries and a big change of climatic conditions and all that. But we are aware of it. We are very well prepared. We had best support of Team GB. We had full support, everyone at SGP, a lot of experts, a lot of people helped us with their knowledge and their experience. That's why we go out quite early to adapt. And I think once the excitement kicks in, once the adrenaline kicks in, we will overcome. And just accept the challenge. It will never be an excuse, but the level of performance of the English team just tells me that the concurrence and the competitiveness of the league is one of a kind.
Is that tiredness your biggest challenge, do you think, overcoming that?
Yeah, and it goes then back to getting the load right in pre-camp, getting the load individually right for the players, getting the headspace right, getting the attitude right. Don't go too early into the tunnel, getting our rotation right and the selection of the teams, because we want to stay a long time in the tournament, and we will take advantage of the full squad.
We'll finish back with Rob Dorset.
Thomas, I'm sorry to hijack a really important England media conference with news that's broken while you've been talking.
What's the news?
Manchester City have announced that Pep Guardiola will be leaving at the end of this season. We expected that to happen, but it's still a hugely significant event. I wondered if you wanted to say something about that, and also the impact that he's had on the Premier League and English football as a whole.
Well, the impact he had on every league where he trained, and it's just one of a kind. It's like just the one of the very, very, very best. He made a big revolution with the way he played at Barcelona, and then he put everything upside down in the German league, and then he comes here and crushes every record. So it's just outstanding. There are no words that can describe this determination and this level of input. It's just highest level.
And finally, this is a bit left field, but I wanted to ask you about the collaboration you had with the Beatles in announcing this squad, because it seems significant that you chose the song "Come Together" as well, after all you've been talking about.
I was not involved in that. I saw it now today for the first time. I loved it. Good idea, and thank you for that.
Okay, everyone. Thanks for your time.